Yo, what's going on? Schizo Jits here, coming off a UFC fight night at the Apex last night. Uh, Pretty good card. The main fight, the main event fell off last couple hours, I guess, before last minute. Ryan Spann versus Nikita Krylov. I was surprised. I was watching the fight, or we're playing Monopoly and watching the fight, and then I, paused it to watch Tatiana's fight, and then I didn't even realize that it had been changed yet. And all of a sudden, I was like, "Wait, wasn't there supposed to be another fight?" I was looking on Twitter, didn't see anything. It wasn't until the post fight I actually see it because I wasn't really listening to the broadcast. I was just kind of watching and doing two things at once. But that's really unfortunate for Ryan Spann. I guess what come out is Krylov got some type of flu type symptoms or some type of stomach virus or something happened last minute. He did look kind of bad on the weight cut, I thought, personally. Looked a little more sucked up, and I don't know, it just didn't look right. But maybe it was a weight cut. I don't know. It does suck to lose a main event, especially in a card that wasn't really that stacked anyway. There was some good fights, so that's why I want to talk about the return of Shabib. Tatiana Suarez gets the win, gets a sub, dominant fashion against Montana De La Rosa. Really good fight. I mean, it was competitive at first. You could tell, Tatiana obviously was wrestle heavy in this fight, and maybe that was just because that is her comfort zone. She's not going to come out and strike. She's not going to do too much. Montana is pretty strong, and she's a big girl, pretty good on the feet. Her jits game and wrestling is really good on the ground. But I mean, when you're talking about basically Olympic caliber wrestler like Tatiana, I mean, that's just another level. There's levels to everything, and Tatiana was on a different level yesterday. Didn't really lose a step. Missed 3 years of fighting due to injuries, and she had a neck injury. Had I think a couple knee problems, but yeah, man, she looked good. She looked like she hadn't missed a step. She came in. She was dominant. First round, she did struggle for the takedown the first round, and I was like, wow, all right, maybe this could be a little something. And then it almost looked like she was in trouble for a second, like a guillotine, I think, or something that De La Rosa tried to get on her, but there was no way I was getting her. She popped her head right out, right into guard, got the takedown, and pretty much just wrestled. Didn't do a whole lot of damage the first round with the wrestling. I mean, a couple of nice ground and pound shots, but nothing like crazy. But obviously she dominated the round, won like pretty much every minute of it. And then second round comes and turns on the heat a little more, just gets the submission, gets the snatches up the kind of the head and arm choke, guillotine, and just pulls, basically just, I won't say pulls guard, but falls into guard and just gets that squeeze. And Montana did a good job, trying to tripod up, trying to defending the hands, and she shows how tough she was, because I mean, you could tell it was tight immediately, and it was probably more of just uncomfortable, like your neck's gonna get freaking cranked off, especially when Tatiana fell back, because first she comes up like kind of the posture of Montana, and then breaks her back down, and then just kind of just arches and really puts a lot of pressure on the neck, the throat. I mean, everything. I mean, it didn't look like she was about to go out, but it could have just been kind of like a crank. Also, I mean, it was under the chin for sure, so it's possible. You know what I mean? But it was a really good fight. I mean, it really was a showcase Tatiana for what she can do and how dangerous she can be. Because honestly, she can out-grapple pretty much anyone in probably two-weight divisions. This was at flyweight at 125, and she's talking about going back down to 115. That's what I kind of want to talk about, too, is like the matchups in both divisions for her. Because, I mean, as far as the top 10, you got, we have, let me see, we have champion at, obviously, Valentina Shevchenko at flyweight 125. She's going to fight Alexa Grasso coming up this weekend, actually, next week. John Jones card. And so we got, let's look at the top 10 right here for that. Talia Santos, number 1, who gave Valentina fits. I mean, Manon, that's a French girl, she's good. Erin Blanchfield, who just beat Jessica Andrade a couple weeks ago and looked super impressive doing that. Choking her out. And then you got Caitlin Chukagian, Laura Murphy, who just lost. I mean, Jennifer Maya, Andrea, KGB Lee, rounding out the top 10. And honestly, I feel like Tatiana matches up good with all these fighters. Really, I mean, I would love to see her and Erin Blanchfield. I think that's just Blanchfield just on there. I think she's got to be on everyone's radar just with her grappling ability. I mean, cauliflower ears is crazy looking. Like her ears look like Khabib's ears, and she's like 23 years old. Grappler, wrestler, just dominant, and can strike. She did not back down from Jessica Andrade when they fought. Like, she was taking it to her, wasn't intimidated whatsoever. And that was crazy. You know, that was like an eye opener. Like, yeah, because I seen her fight before, and when she looked dominant. You know, she looked dominant every time. But then you got Talia Santos, who was supposed to actually fight that last fight and with her, and that just fouled out. So that's another grappler. You know, who basically in my eyes, I thought she won the first 3 rounds with Valentina. She didn't finish the strongest after the headbutt, and you know got got that huge hematoma on her, you know, so that kind of changed. I'm sure it changed the perspectives of the judges. And Valentina finished strong in the last 2 rounds. So I mean, the first 3 rounds, I mean, maybe one of them couldn't win either way. I mean, I personally, I thought Talia she had her back, she had her in danger, but either way, you know, like maybe, you know, Valentina wasn't prepared for that fight in the right way against Talia. You know, she was kind of unknown, only had a couple fights in the UFC, coming off Contender Series. So I mean, who knows, you know, but. So we got Valentina coming up with Alexa Grasso, and I think honestly, like Tatiana matches up like good with all these girls. Honestly, Alexa Grasso, I mean, I think she could wrestle her. Chukagan, she could definitely wrestle her. Andrade, I mean, she could do that. Like I said, the challenges will be Santos. Obviously, Shevchenko's a challenge for anybody, and Erin Blanchfield in that division. But Tatiana's moving down to 115. You know, so maybe she felt the strength of. De La Rosa a little bit, and kind of was like, maybe. Oh, I don't know. She actually was already talking about going back down to 115 anyway, but to strawweight. So let's look at that division. You got the champ, obviously, John Wei Lee, Carla Esparza, number 1, who Tatiana already has a dominant win over Carla. She basically out everything her. You know, woman handler, Shabib her. I call her the female Khabib, so it's like Shabib, you know, like just. Because she just gets a hold of girls, and it's just, you could tell it's different, and she's very controlling. Not so much with the ground and pound yet, but you know, and she does have some fights like that where she can do a lot of damage, but it's more like just controlling and then making you make a mistake, and you know what I mean. So, and then you got number 2, Rose. Obviously, she's always going to be right there. Amanda Lemos, 3, Marina Rodriguez, Zhao Nanyan. Jessica Andrade in there too. She's in 2 divisions as well. Mackenzie Dern at number 7, and I would like, honestly, that's a fight I think would be sick. I mean, if you look at, obviously she matches up well against even everyone in the strawweight as well with her wrestling. Like Wei Lee has definitely improved a lot in her wrestling. Her striking is always going to be kind of, you know, explosive in there, and her wrestling, working with Cejudo and all that, like she's really improved a lot, you know, with that. Rose is always dangerous anywhere. Good jiu-jitsu, that, but also her kryptonite kind of is like Carla was able to beat her, you know, 2 times, even though the second time was nothing happened. First time she was able to control it with wrestling, and I think, you know, really the only matchups there, obviously Andrade is a challenge for everybody as well because she's so super strong, and so I mean I would the matchups for her, like, because right now like Tatiana's obviously not in the rankings, she hasn't fought for 3 years. I would say give her a Mackenzie Dern like at number 7. You know, it sucks for Mackenzie to have, you know, I like Mackenzie, you know, but she's number 7 right now. You know, that's an interesting fight because she's so dangerous on the ground. She has much improved striking. I would say striking-wise and even power with her striking, I would say Mackenzie has that advantage against Tatiana, and so dangerous on the off her back and really anywhere in jiu-jitsu world. So would she be able to do any of that against Tatiana is the question. And that's what I kind of want to see. I would like to see that. If Tatiana gets a dominant win over like a very like dangerous grappler like Mackenzie, because obviously it's going to the ground. It's definitely going to the ground. I mean, I don't think she'll stand and bang with Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie does hit hard. She's got much improved striking. You know, she's not a freaking world beater, you know, kickboxer, elite kickboxer or anything, but she can scrap, you know, so she's tough and she brings a fight. So I think that might actually play into like a Tatiana's hands as far as getting takedowns, but it'll be an element of danger that she might not be used to. But I mean, she trains with all these people, but are you training with like multiple time world champions like a Mackenzie Dern on the ground? I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, you know, that would be an interesting fight for me, I think. Andrade, obviously, anyone in Andrade is an explosive fight. I mean, she took the fight with Erin Blanchfield on short notice, you know, after just having a dominant win over Lauren Murphy. So, I mean, yeah, that's not an easy task. So to go into a grappling heavy fight, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of fights there, though. You got, like I said, Rose. Rose is always going to be right there. Amanda Lemos is dangerous as hell. But, I mean, I figure, like, Tatiana matches up good against everybody here. Like, look at the number 1 fighter in the strawweight, Carla, she dominated. There wasn't no moment. Carla really didn't have any moments there. Couldn't get any takedowns, and she was known as the wrestler in women's, MMA. And for Tatiana, just came and showed her there's another level of that, and just a higher caliber and stronger wrestler. So yeah, she really does match up well against everybody in both divisions. She could be a champ in the future. But I mean, I guess one step at a time. She wants to go down to 115, and she said she's down to work her way up. But she's lost 3 years of fighting. I mean, I think they got to give her a top 10 opponent. I think Mackenzie Dern makes a lot of sense. Maybe a Tisha Torres even. I mean, just someone in the top 5 to 10 if you want to slow it, but or either give her a top 5. I mean, she already beat Carla, so obviously that's not a rematch you would want just because she beat her. But that is not there's not going to be any hype around that fight. I think somewhere like a Mackenzie or Andrade, obviously. If Andrade is going to go back down to 115, I'm not sure if she's which one she's sticking with or she's doing both. And then eventually she could Tatiana could move her way back up to flyweight and maybe be a champ. I mean, of course she'd match up good with Valentina. Talia Santos was able to take her down and dominate her and put her in jeopardy. There's no way that Tatiana's taking down anyone in this division, in both divisions. Erin Blanchfield, I feel like, just because I've seen her style and how strong she is, I think that could be, and at the higher weight, and Talia Santos, I would like to see those matchups in the future. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited, man. I was happy to see her back. I've been a fan for a minute, and her wrestling. I have a buddy that she wrestled, back in the day, and I mean, she's just a beast. So I mean, Return of Shabib. That's what I'm calling this video. And oh yeah, I do want to talk about another fight here. It was Peak. Trevor Peak's TKO. Trevor Peak was insane, man. This guy came out, every single thing he threw was just all power, all like he's trying to like he's throwing a body shot. He's trying to crack through your ribs. He's trying to like damage your spleen. You know what I mean? Like he's just throwing everything he can throw into these punches with vicious intentions. Every single strike he was throwing, everything he was doing was just, even when he got held down, he didn't panic. When he got taken down, he would get right back up. And I think it was Eric Rodriguez. I think he was fighting. It just showed the toughness of Eric Rodriguez, or is it Gonzalez? I think it might have been Gonzalez, but whatever. His opponent showed so much toughness, taking all these shots, and he just kept coming. I think he actually kind of tired himself out by getting just going for takedowns and picking him up and slamming him. I think he thought he was going to be able to wear Peak out that way. It just wasn't happening. Peak was determined. You've seen that look in him. It was such a fierce, competitive spirit in him. Where he's there for war. He's there to do damage, and it was super impressive. I can't wait. It was his debut TKO. You can't ask for a better. I mean, like I said, everything he threw was just man, game changing. When it landed, you could hear it. Just the body shots, the kicks, everything he was throwing was just all heat. You know what I mean? Nothing but fastballs. So it's yeah, he was Roger Clemens in there. He was someone just who throws nothing but fastballs. He was just, man, he was Nolan Ryan, But either way, I mean, that guy has a bright future. I can't wait to see him fight again. Trevor Peak, remember that name. And then the Monkey King, he got a fight. He got a win after losing. I think he lost to Patty last time, right? So yeah, he got his win. That was a good, impressive fight too. He kind of just got that tie clinch, because it was kind of whatever fight it was, a fill-out process. And then once he got this tie clinch, he was just landing these knees. He landed about a good 3 solid knees. And then the ref kind of was slow to stop it. When you could tell the second one, I think, kind of put him out. It was just literally right under the chin, just knocked him dead. He just fell, just sat down, crouched. And, the ref really took his time on stopping that fight, and he took at least 3 or 4 extra punches, unnecessarily. But a good win for the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt, getting back in the win cloud. I mean, he's a little weird personality or whatever, but he's also kind of just fun out there. He don't care. I mean, he's just having a good time out there. And sport needs personalities, people that go and do some weird stuff, and regardless. But yeah, that's it. Tell me what you guys think. What's in the store for Tatiana's future? Like I said, I'm excited. I want to see her fight again, but I'm just hoping she can stay healthy this time and just do, knock on wood, let's see her. I want to see her just dominate in both divisions or work her way up, whatever. I mean, because her and Wei Li, with her improved striking, with her improved wrestling, I should say, Wei Li's, that could, if I just don't picture Tatiana not being able to take really any of these girls down. So that's the only thing, like regardless. But she could also be in danger. Who knows? I mean, if she wears herself out in a 5-round fight, I don't think she's ever been in a 5-rounder. If you're wrestling for 3 rounds straight and then you still haven't finished, because it's more about controlling and that and not doing so much like going for submissions or even ground and pound, then I feel like, yeah, I mean, somebody like a Wei Li who just has a crazy gas tank and is rounded and devastating striking and just explosive, if you can't finish her right away and she just, keeps coming, then it could be a war, and it could be, I mean, I could see that fight going either way, honestly. At the very top level, Valentina Shevchenko, like these top 3 fighters in both divisions, 4, 5 even, that could be some problems for anyone. Obviously, they'll all give each other problems. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's in store for Tatiana. And let me know what you guys think. Who's next for her? And it's going to be in strawweight. So what do you guys think of the Mackenzie Dern? I think that's a good matchup. Or a Tisha Torres maybe, but it's kind of like, dang, dude, you're just going to try to feed Tisha a lion. It's a wrestling heavy. It's kind of striker versus grappler. Be nice to see a grappler versus grappler, but it's a wrestler versus jiu-jitsu, like a world champion. So, I mean, 2 at the highest levels of their respected martial art forms, so disciplines. So, yep, let me know what you guys think on that matchup. And what's up? About to watch this Jake Paul fight, I guess. I don't know. See what's up. Probably make a video on that, too. So, you guys have a good one.